Hey guys, Moser with Negron Tech here, and Boat League is finally here. It's time. I can't wait to play slams. All melee got buffed, totems removed. So many good things. I am so goddamn excited. It's been 4 years. If you watch any of my other videos, you know I have a painful PoE experience because I refuse to really play a lot of things except for melee starting out. It's my favorite playstyle in every single medium, especially ARPG. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to link a Word doc. I'm not going to talk about everything here. This is actually the second time I'm doing this take because the first time I did it was way too long. So all melee got buffed. This is my slam summary. Most of the time I'm talking about earthshatter specifically, right? So banners reworked. You hit on melee, you get valor. You can also in the passive tree get valor when you war cry. Cool, right? You drop war banner down. It costs no mana. You get a more melee multiplier, right? Good. Everybody uses it. Okay. Rage rework. No longer move speed. No longer attack speed. No big deal. It does suck, but now Rage is more accessible to all the melee classes, which is huge. It's something I've been advocating for a long time. Berserker. Warbringer is DOA. Rest in peace. It was one of the best ascendancy nodes in the game. I don't care what anybody says. 50% more damage 100% of the time. Ridiculous. Rage generation on Warcry. Ridiculous. So, again, that's dead, but at least you can also spec into the passive tree and you get Rage generation on Warcry there, which is something I've really wanted. I just wish they would have changed Warbringer to something better than just you can, you exert twice as many attacks. Your Warcries exert twice as many attacks, right? So that sucks. The only reason to play Berserker now is if I think it's a better starter just because the more attack speed that you get from Rage, because Rage, again, no attack speed, no movement speed. Berserker, you can get the attack speed innately from the Ascendancy, and then you can get move speed from the passive tree, but I don't think that's worth it. Anyway, the attack speed is very huge. It does not matter for slam skills. It doesn't, right? But if you're like me and you've been playing melee or slams for 4 years, you know, unlike other people, that if you don't have sufficient attack speed in melee, you might just get stun locked. You know, almost everybody, me included, we go unwavering stance, but leveling on, it sucks to just, like, that shit takes forever without attack speed. Berserker solves that. So that's the big benefit. Bella, you good? Okay. That's the big benefit of Berserker getting the attack speed from Rage, but it can't be understated how good that Warbringer node was. That's a huge loss. It's a huge loss, right? I think Slayer's better. All right. So max Rage is 30. You get more multiplier per, 1%, so you get 30% more damage with 30 Rage. Bunch of Rage passes. Berserk got nerfed. It's a nerf. It got Rage effect, whatever. I think it's better just stay high Rage, right? War cries. A lot of changes here. Overexertion probably going to be mandatory for my earthshatter build because you're going to be war crying nonstop. You're going to have 3 war cries happening almost all the time. Most of the time 4. Massive, right? So that's a huge damage multiplier as long as you're willing to press buttons. Ancestral Cry gives max LE resist. Probably won't use it, but good. Okay, call to arms. I'm going to go on a little rant here because auto exertion, I don't know what it is about, again, I talk about this all the time, ARPGs, like people want to just, one thing, if you're playing the game 15 hours a day, I get it if it's your job, like if it's your career, that it is what it is, I understand, but like for other people that like me, like I'm 33 years old, I come home, if I play Path of Exile for a couple hours, I can press a couple buttons on my keyboard and a couple more clicks on my mouse, like it's not that big of a deal for me, like I feel like people play PoE just like this, and just like use a macro for flashes. Like I don't know. I don't know what the whole, oh my fucking god, I can't press a button. Guys, it's an ARPG. Like, how many video games do you don't press any button? Like it blows my mind, right? Unless you're doing it for a job and you're like hand problems, I get it, right? But Enduring Cry, no burst of life regen. With the new Val pack, doesn't matter because we cannot recover except for Leech. Alright, we'll still use it for the endurance charges. Endurance charges got Giga buff. Now we're taking less elemental damage when we have the endurance charges, or reduced. I don't know. But it's good, right? Infernal Cry, we're Fizz, we don't care, but for other ones, good. Intimidating Cry. Move speed, okay. No longer just Fizz resist, okay. Rallying Cry, ignore this because people think, oh, I'll just use Rallying Cry and I'll get a huge more multiplier. Does not work that way. It says it applies to your minions. I've tested this repeatedly, even with Hail of Purity minions, even with Spectres. I have done this over the years. Does not matter. The Rallying Cry buff does not affect you. Go into PoE, summon some minions. I'm telling you. I don't know why people think it works on yourself. It does not. Seismic Cry, my sweet prince. Hoping for a rework. Revert. Nah, it's alright though. We get 6 exerted attacks, which is nice. It is what it is. More armor, that's nice too. Increased stun threshold. And Urgent Order is very interesting because it no longer adds a 2-second cooldown. That 2-second cooldown made a DOA for earthshatter. But for us, for berserkers that are going to do ground slam and not really warcry that much and just warcry a couple times and invest into exerted attacks, get a lot of warcries, a lot of exerted attacks from a single warcry or two, what's going to happen is that you might be able to save passive points from the tree, warcry speed, and just use urgent orders. That's kind of huge. It's very, very good for what's it called? Very, very good for like the berserker. Not so much the earthshatter slayer or earthshatter berserker, but hey, flesh of stone, quality of life. Hey, more damage in blood, less of sand without the conditional is great. All right, bunch of passive changes. We're still starved for passive points. It's impossible to get everything you want. Mana costs have gone up as well, which sucks. Mana leech is better located along the tree now, especially for Jug, Berserker, Marauders. But we're going to have to also not just get mana leech, but reduce mana cost on the tree. Earthshatter is now 13 mana. I think a lot of melee skills are 13 mana. If you go into here with a 6-linked, ignore this. It's actually 44 mana with 2 Elrions, right? This is with no mana investment. That is ridiculous. Like, that is so ridiculous that going blood magic and just using like determination and pride or just using one aura, it might be worth it. Like I shit you not, it might be worth it, right? Like it might be worth it to use determination and pride, or just use determination like mapping and then use precision with the arrogance and then take that life, because like that 44 mana with a 6-link, like how are we supposed to play with that, guys? I don't know. We gotta have to invest 4 points here. This one note, Sage of Intensity is going to help, another 20%. But does this say here, is that working? No. But like, you just, if you invest 4 points, well, really for me, it's 7 points. All of a sudden, like the mana cost goes down with 2 Aurions. But these are only attacks. So if we look at war cries, let's see. Well, that's 17 mana. Oh, that's not too bad. Do I have second wing linked? I do. Okay, so maybe not too bad, but again, some people see this and it's like, oh shit, that feels terrible. I don't want to use 4 points on mana, especially when we're starved on passives already. So it does kind of suck. That's a big issue. Maybe just go blood magic. I don't know. Again, starved on passives. Now, Mark has come out right and said it during an interview. This is the intended design. They don't want you to be able to get everything as melee. They want you to like, oh, if I want to focus on banners, get the banners. If I want to be mostly rage, get the rage. Impale, get the impale. Bleed, you know, right? So that's the intended design. All right, not too bad on time. So, what's my, TLDR? My immediate take is that it's probably better for just quality of life and starting just to go a different melee skill besides Slam or Earthshatter, and just focus on that. Like, I think probably the most popular is going to be Ground Slam, especially in Softcare or Berserker, because you can get like Impact Force Propagator, and then you can get a bunch of War Cries, exert additional attacks, and then you double it. Now, I don't know if the double happens before or after the base. Like, if I get in the tree, does my Intimidated Cry go from 2 to 4 double with Warbringer, or do I get the +1 and now I go from 3 to 6? That's a big thing. Now, if you go from the 3 to 6, like if whatever it is, and then it gets doubled, that's gonna be really, really good for like the Ground Slam, other builds like Earthshatter or Earthquake that don't want to constantly Warcry to explode spikes and use those mechanics. So doesn't matter for me. I'm still playing slams. I've been doing it for 4 years. I don't care. It's the most satisfying playstyle. Like Last Epoch, Diablo, a lot of these games they cannot replicate. I don't know why, because those have good gameplay, but they can't replicate the melee slam playstyle. They're nowhere close to it, right? So Slam Warcry combo is too damn satisfying. I'm not gonna go too into the POB. It did get updated. I checked out of the beta, and this is working. So I think it's okay. A lot of these nodes compared to the beta branch are actually working like inherent, like 20% reduced cost. A lot of these are working very, very good. So this is my level 85 base tree. I have a couple trees here. I have to redo the leveling. I have to redo the Berserker portion, but I have a baseline Slayer, baseline Suppress. It might be viable to not even go Suppression as Slayer and not Hardcore, because Endurance Charger just got Giga buffed. Like, they really are that good. So that's something to think about, that like you're taking less elemental or reduced elemental damage whatever the wording is. So that's a big deal. Now the pathing is very different. Hatchet Master is over here, which is miserable. For Impale, increase Impale effects, very nice. But the way I path here is that as a slammer, one that's going to Warcry a lot, we have to get 2 Warcry masteries. Now, we used to be able, I don't know, Measured Fury, I feel like this was combined with a different node, but you were able to get Warcry speed and Warcry reduction, and I think you still got to exert additional attacks, or maybe that was different, I don't know, but this is mandatory. You have to get an additional exertion on your Intimidating Cry. That way, when you 1, 2, 3 Intimidating Cry, well, when you Intimidating Cry 1, 2, 3, you get the double damage. You Intimidating Cry again to explode the spikes, snapshot, well, not really snapshot, but you get the next 3 ones, and then you rinse and repeat. And with Second Wind, and with, cooldown reduction investment, you're good. So that's great. I'm gonna go Slayer. It's just nice. Val Pack got buffed. The thing about Val Pack is that, let's talk about this, is that people get a misconception with Slayer Leech. Where is it? So if you read this real quick, really what it says is that, well, it's actually this one. It's like, they're not removed at unreserved life. The thing is like, if your Leech is instantly, it's not like when you don't have Val Pack, where let's say I'm at 99 point whatever percent health, considered full life, because that's how Slayer Leech works, right? I'm recovering while I'm at full life. With Val Pack, you are not recovering. You're not leeching while you're at full life, because all the leech is happening instant. So, let's say I attack with the slam, I explode the spikes, I deal the damage, I'm at 100% health. If I don't have Val Pack, I get hit right after that. Right after I'm done attacking, I'm going to leech up that damage right then and there, right? Now, if I have Val Pack, I take a hit, let's say, like, whatever. Let's say I take that hit again, and I'm not actively doing damage. I'm not actively leeching. So, I still think it's probably going to be, I'm just going to go it anyway, because doubling life leech is kind of crazy. And it just makes that, like, life, this brutal fervor is like, it's not as good as you think. The maximum recovery is great, reduced damage is great, but the life leaf effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled. Doesn't really you kind of just ignore that line, right? So this is the passive tree, this is the base. We get max res, we get max res here. Very good. You can get more for 4 points. You get more max res here. Might be something to think about. But with this tree, I have, I like to consider my builds 94, 95 done. So 10 points here, which are most likely with earthshatter going to go into Impale nodes. I'm sorry I'm losing my voice. Trying to get this video out before my fiance gets home. And that's pretty much it, guys. It's already 13 minutes, so a little bit longer. At least I got the Word doc. That's really what's important. I'll link this, and I'll do a full build guide by hopefully Thursday. So I got 3 days to do it. And that's it. If you guys have any questions, again, I think Slayer's going to be better. Berserker is still good, even though it's giga nerf. Like, the old Warbringer was nuts. And that's that. Mosum Negron Tech here. Have a good one, guys.